This is Life Transformation Radio. Prepare to engage. Seatbelt activated. Download initiated. Your quantum journey of transformation begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. Hi, I'm Rob Actis, best-selling author of The Law of Action, voice actor, business mindset coach, the podcast whisperer, and Mr. Action himself. Life Transformation is heard in over 90 countries around the world. Thank you for joining us. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to Life Transformation Radio for some time, I want to personally thank you. Here at Life Transformation Radio, we are committed to share more about real life, love, the power of positivity, romance, and of course, laughter. We care about helping others find their internal drive and purpose. We celebrate life's challenges and overcoming them. On the show, my guests are incredible. I got to tell you, today, Victoria Monster and I discuss the many obstacles she has overcome in her life. And we do a deep dive into her many life experiences, including her kidnapping at just 15 years old. So if you want to hear straight from a survivor that has refused to be a victim, this is the show for you. Victoria Monster is an actress, writer, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and so much more. Victoria Monster, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So Victoria is a very dear friend of mine. She is magical in all ways. And the thing about Victoria is that she has lived a life of transformation. So I just want to give a trigger warning. We're going to talk about some stuff that's not really super pleasant, but I tell you, there is a transformation that has occurred. So if you're easily triggered by domestic violence or kidnapping or some really hard life, you can tune out or you can tune in and hear the transformation because it's truly remarkable. So there's my warning. And I just want to say, welcome. Like, you're here in the studio. It's kind of cool. I like this. I don't get to do Life Transformation Radio with people often in the studio, and there's just a different energy, a different vibe. So
yeah.
Welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you here.
I feel the welcome.
Yay. So, all right. You are pretty remarkable, and there's a lot of onion to unpeel, and we'll peel some of it today and just have you back. One of the cool things is that Victoria is going to be announcing, or I guess I'll just announce it, that she has a new podcast coming out. Me, the podcast whisperer, helping her. So that's going to be coming out, and it's kind of cool because she's just going to be talking, and she's so fascinating, and I'm excited about helping her get it on the air because she has so much to share, and she's such a beautiful soul, and what she has been through is truly remarkable. So you were born in Detroit.
Correct.
In a just a silver spoon in your mouth mansion neighborhood with No, actually
I was born in Detroit, and I grew up in a small town right outside of Detroit called Redford Township, and it was rough. It was really rough. They were not nice. They were not nice to me. And, I had this goal. I was driven to get away. And I used my talents, singing and writing and all that. And I worked hard for so long in the singing industry and at a young age, and almost landed a really big deal at 16. But unfortunately, life had a different direction for me. So.
Wow. So what was that direction?
Well, I'll take you back about over a year before. I was headed over to a boyfriend's house. I was 15 years old, and I was kidnapped off the street. I seen my boyfriend. I was walking past his house, and I seen a girl leaving, and it was raining, and I already knew a van was following me, But because I was so emotional about him cheating, I ended up going toward an alleyway, and that's where they picked me up.
Wow. So, whew, I mean, that's a lot. So you're kidnapped, and what happened?
I was held against my will by 3 men, and then they took me to 3 separate places. The third place was a trap house, and there was a dog there, a pit bull. Her name was Angel, and she literally...
I don't know what a trap house is. What's a trap house? I don't know the lingo. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Well, a trap house is where they sell a lot of drugs.
Okay.
And there was a lot of drugs in that house and weapons. There was shotguns, AK-47s. The man that they brought me to the last house, he didn't do anything to me, but he was still a part of it to keep me there. I ended up making him feel, I guess, like falling for me, I guess is the best way to put it. And I cleaned for him. I cooked for him. I told him how much I liked his tattoos, which was true. I did. But I got myself out of there. I told him he was my boy. You know, we were boyfriend, girlfriend, supposedly to him. And he got me out of there Christmas morning, like I prayed for.
How long were you in there for?
Over 2 weeks, almost 3.
Wow. Did anything happen to them? Did you just escape and
it was such a dangerous situation. I didn't know how dangerous it was until I actually came home, and the guy would still come to my house. I've never even talked about this publicly, but
wow.
I just tell people I came home on Christmas. But yeah, he was still in contact with me for a while. And with my siblings there, I just wanted to keep it, kosher, I guess you could say.
And keep them safe. Because that's the one thing I know about you is that you've had some really challenging things happen in your life, and you do everything within your power to keep everybody around you safe.
Yeah, I feel like I'm everyone's keeper.
That's amazing. So I'm happy you got out of that situation, and you were only 15 or 16 years old.
I was 15.
That's unbelievable. That must have been so traumatic and devastating just to be grabbed off the street.
Yeah, and this is the thing I'd like to speak publicly about. It's very typical from where I'm from. A lot of women get snatched on the streets. They just don't make it home. And I do have survivor's guilt when I hear about a girl who's missing and then we end up finding her and she's not alive. It is hard for me, and I do go through those emotions like, why me? Why am I here? And I know that I have a purpose, and I know I just got to keep going. And I try not to dwell on those feelings, and I try to identify it right away. But it's still hard, even if it's not from Detroit, even if it's from Wisconsin, Florida, here in Arizona, wherever it is, even if it's not a female, or especially a child, you go through that. And I know other survivors that go through it too.
Well, I appreciate you being so open and sharing that. It's amazing how if you really dive down and read between the lines of the news, how much trafficking of humans goes on in this country. Children, adults, it's really a terrible thing, and it happens all the time. Matter of fact, I think it happens so much that they don't really even talk about it.
No, and I would like to bring to light, side note, big side note, that, I'm here. I'm 100% on board with the what's going on with the natives. And I see you women out there, and I just pray for you guys all the time. I really, really hope that something happens, because the Native American community deserves better. Big time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew. Well, you are a survivor, and there's a reason you're here. You're such a beautiful soul. You just radiate this energy that is just, quite magical. So let's fast forward from the kidnapping, and then what happened to you from there?
So I was in the Detroit, rave scene and music scene, jazz, R&B, rap, hip hop community. And I was doing really great. I got some pretty big attention from some big names. I was VIP in clubs at 16. It's Detroit back in the early 2000s. And I was modeling, and it was very, like, a lot of it was inappropriate, but it was for the time. I'm so happy to see you talk about transformation. The industry is really transforming right now. I'm so happy because it's important, that women are seen, for better, and young girls especially.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I was involved with all that music and modeling, and I really was doing something for myself. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm pregnant, and I had to turn down some pretty big deals.
And how old were you then?
16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll change your life.
Big time.
That'll
No more VIP.
No.
VIP baby bottle washing.
Now, so you're in Detroit, and when did you move out of Detroit?
I left.
So you had your child.
Yes.
And you're 16. Were you living with your parents at the time?
My father, yeah.
Okay.
I took care of my brother and my sister. My mom had mental issues. She was out of the home. So it was on me to take care of my younger siblings and my child on my own.
Wow.
And yeah, so... But yeah, I pushed through it all, and I kept bettering myself, and, I wanted a better life for my kids. So I moved downriver in Michigan, and then finally bought a house and sold it and moved out to Arizona 2013.
That's awesome. Now, congratulations on that. So, we talk about transformation. How did you do that? I mean, a lot of people have traumatic experiences and they just can't get over it. How did you pull yourself out of the trauma of being kidnapped, being in a really tough environment, having a baby at 16 and having to raise that, and then having to raise your other family members? How did you do that?
I just pushed through. I couldn't think about it. There was days that I did. I was forced to. If somebody would trigger me or say something to me that would trigger, I do have PTSD. You don't need, going through something like that. I don't know how many people don't have it.
Right.
But yeah, I pushed through. There was no other choice. It was sink or swim. And I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to sink. There was a lot of people relying on me.
And then you came to Arizona. What brought you to Arizona?
I was pregnant with a little girl, and I didn't want my daughter to grow up into that world. Her father was in a motorcycle gang.
Wow.
And it was a racist gang, and he was keeping a secret that he was half black.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted my daughter to be proud of who she was. I was proud of who she was. I didn't care if she was black, green, blue, whatever.
She was your daughter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I was going to tell the world. And if I did, then something could have happened to him. So I gave him an option. Either we go to, I'm leaving and I'm going to Florida and you'll never see us, or we can go as a family to Arizona and get to know your family.
Wow. Wow. And then other fun stuff happened, not necessarily fun stuff, when he got here.
Yeah. So the perception that I had of his family was not the case. And he kind of fell back into his old ways and worse, and left us homeless on the streets. And I was pregnant with his next child. And it wasn't pretty. I was on birth control. He took my birth control. He attacked me for hiding birth control on him. I was trying to get away from him at the time. I was working 7 days a week at Savers and couldn't get away to get to the doctor to get more. And there was just no help for me. I was here in a state with nobody, no family, no friends. It was scary. And then I'm homeless now. I've lost everything.
With a baby on the way.
With a baby on the way.
And another child. How old was your?
My two sons were 8 and 4 at the time. And then my daughter was not even a year old.
And you're homeless.
Homeless, pregnant, scared.
And once again, because you're sitting here with me, and I know, how your life is and how hard you work, you dug deep and you transformed your life again from being homeless with nothing. And then what happened?
Slowly got a vehicle, and then I went to California with a girlfriend of mine and came back to Arizona because it was so cheaper then.
Yeah,
2014.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not anymore. But I was doing great. I was a manager at a club, and I had a lot of good things going for myself. And then my ex started taking me to court, claiming he wanted to be in the baby's life. Never met her. And it was,
rough.
Another scary time because I don't know what he's capable of.
Right.
Because he has a violent past with children, myself, and our daughter. I witnessed him being violent with her when she was only 3 months old. So I begged the courts, please don't let him take my child. Neither one of them, and he's not a good person. And they said, well, we don't really have any proof because you didn't make a police report.
Correct.
So they said there's nothing on file. And I went out, got a $3,000 lawyer, and she said, oh, we're going to take care of it. Don't worry. We'll just watch him, hire a private eye to see what he's doing, what he's involved in. And when she found out that he was abusing the baby, she told me not to call the police. And she said, just document it to her. And the third time, my baby, who was only 3 months old at the time, came back with bruises on her. This time it was on her stomach also. And I called the police, and they said, well, is this the first time it's happened? I said, no. And that's when they looked at me and gave me this look like, uh-oh. And I had no idea that you can get in trouble for not reporting.
Absolutely.
And it's considered neglect. And I said, I reported it to my lawyer. She has the documentation, the pictures, everything. And they said it's not
Doesn't
enough.
matter. Right.
And the next couple days later, the CPS came and took my children away. And I'm not a drug addict. I don't hardly ever drink. I think people pretty much have to force me once in a while to have a drink. So I always thought it could never happen to me. I was always a good mom. I, gave up my career in music and did everything I thought I was supposed to do. And this could never happen to me. And I'm sure if I didn't move here, it would have never happened. Michigan's very different on their laws and how strict they are. But out here was a lot different.
So what's really amazing to me is that I've known you for a long time, and I know when you're going through all this, and you were like a mama bear, and you were vicious in your veracity and your energy that you put everything and more, got a little emotional there, everything and more into getting your kids.
Yeah.
And you did. Like, you have gone through hell and back. And that's why I'm so excited to have you here as a guest today, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of stuff going in their lives and they just don't see an end in sight. And you, Victoria, just are amazing in how you transform the bottom of your life, like the pit, like the worst of the worst, and you transform and you get into something better. And it's just amazing.
Yeah, I always feel like I've lived so many lives because I'm like a butterfly. I'm like in my cocoon, and then I come out as this butterfly, die, gotta go back in a cocoon and, come out this butterfly again. So, I mean, it's always funny because like when you, Rob, talk to me, it's like, where am I at in my little phase? Am I a caterpillar right now? Am I in my cocoon? If you don't hear from me, I'm probably in my cocoon.
That's amazing. So things have mellowed out.
Yes.
You're doing good now. You've got a lot of things that you're in the works. You've got, you've got projects. You can reveal whatever projects you want to reveal, but that's super exciting. I mean, it's amazing. I just am humbled by everything that you've been through and all that you've done. And what's really amazing is that it's really all been to give your kids a better, safer environment. Like it's not been like, I would have to say you're probably one of the most unselfish people that I know in how you live your life. It's all about your kids.
Well, here's the thing that I learned while not having them was that one day it is just going to be me. And what have I done for myself? You know, like what have I done for Victoria? I'm just their mom, you know, and that's not bad. But at the same time, I lost my identity. I didn't do anything for me.
Right.
And that's not good either. Being so like selfless is not always a good thing.
No, self-care is super, super important.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, what, you know, I looked at the clock and I'm like, I haven't done music in how many, I don't want to say the years, but it had
a long
been,
time.
Yeah. And I'm like, where did all this, you know, what am I doing? I'm not being creative. I'm not, you know, so I made music. I went back into the music industry, and an interesting music industry, way different than hip hop and jazz, and was into the Christian hip hop community for a minute there. And I seen, okay, like music is what I want to do to express myself. And then I was like, well, what else? What do you really want to do? You know, what does Victoria really want to do? I want to be an actress, you know, and I want to make movies. And sure enough, I'm in school now and I've done a little bit of a movie and I loved it. And I'm so ready for the next level. And all the things that all those men told me I couldn't do. I've even been told by exes, you're too old. You got to give it up. Like, that's not true. I don't care how old you are. You can be elderly and do whatever you want to do. Like, there's no one in this world that can tell you can't do something.
And you have a Rob who's one of your biggest fans.
My biggest cheerleader.
Who sees how extraordinary you are and saw how extraordinary you were many, many years ago. And I told you, I said, when you finally discover how incredible you are and your fire that's deep burning within you, and you really just harness that, watch out, because everything is going to be right in front of you. And it's happening.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah. I can't believe only, how long has your book been out for? What, 3 years?
Oh, no longer than that.
Almost.
I don't know. Let me see. It's been longer than that. Let's look.
Take a look.
Take a look.
It's in a book.
It's in the book. Let's see. Was it copyright? What is it? 2018.
Wow.
So 3 years. Yeah. So 3 years. Yeah.
It feels longer.
It feels like a long time.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like a long time. But I knew you before the book.
No, yeah. But I mean, I read it.
I know.
And it's incredible. It really set me in motion, you know, to like.
It puts you in action. I guess we're talking.
It did put me in action.
If you're not aware, I wrote a book called The Law of Action. And Victoria it's her Bible. I mean, she has it in her hand all the time and she has notes in it. It's quite humbling and quite flattering that, you know, if no one ever else reads my book, I know that I made a difference in someone's life and it's been significant. And that's humbling. I mean, it's to do that is super cool. It's
one thing to do good in your life. It's another to go after what you aspire in your career. And that's honestly what the book did. I'm not saying it changed my life, made me a better person.
Oh, it changed your life. It did. Oh, it changed your life. Oh, yes, it did.
No, yeah. But I mean, like, I was a good person prior to the book.
Book sales, people were just on there on Amazon getting my book and they're just like, no, I'm not going to get it. It won't change my life, so forget it.
But honestly, like it made me, like, there were so many times where, I laughed in your book. I cried in your book. I literally cried in the book. So there's my tears in there. But I was on vacation in Las Vegas and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? You know, like, what am I? I'm on vacation. I'm doing great, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, this was
in Vegas, I know.
In Vegas, poolside. And I'm like, but I'm not doing, like, where am I going? Where am I going? What am I doing? And that's when I was reading the book and I go, there's my aha moment. There's my aha moment here, like, again and again. And, you know, to really put forward after that vacation, like, I need to go.
Yeah.
I need to do this. how do I do it? What's the next step? Just be in action. And that's what I did. And, you know, I've been a bounty hunter.
That's pretty cool. I forgot to talk about that. So I'm like, so what's up with you? And she's like, I'm a bounty hunter. And she sends me a picture of her in bounty hunter outfit. And I'm like, she's a bounty hunter. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
So tell me let's talk a little bit about bounty hunting. That's pretty cool.
I was with...
That's a transformation.
Right. So I was with my daughter's father, and this was before I knew what I was getting myself into. And I was on my way to the academy in Michigan. And when he proposed to me...
What academy?
Just the police academy.
Oh,
just
okay.
to have
I didn't know if it was the Actors Academy. I don't know what kind of academy.
Right. You're
okay.
You're right on it. But I went, you know, I was signed up. Everything was good. I got my gun. I was all excited. And then all of a sudden he dropped the bomb. It was like, oh yeah, by the way, the gang says that, you know, motorcycle club says that you can't be a bounty hunter. And I'm like, wouldn't you guys want that? Like,
that'd be good, right?
You know what I mean? Like, I don't, So I gave it up again for someone. And I mean, nothing happened out of it. Yes, I have beautiful children, but what happened for me? Nothing. Just this, what would it be like if I was?
Right.
You know, and that's something that you don't want to go to your grave. You know, I didn't want to feel that on my deathbed. Like, what if?
That's pretty badass, man. You're a bounty hunter. That's pretty cool. And I got to tell you, she's one of the hottest bounty hunters you will ever see. So
thank you, Rob.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Like, seriously.
It's a fun gig, for sure. Obviously going public about it, I'm going to start winding down from it. I have been. I've done it and it's great, but I need to keep going forward. You know, acting is my love.
My favorite. It's just funny because if you haven't seen a picture of Victoria, she's actually stunning, just incredibly beautiful woman. And I just can only imagine, because one of the things used to do the bracelets, used to give people bracelets as they were getting out of jail. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the middle of the night, they get out of jail and they're going to get their bracelet to make sure they don't skip out on their bounty. And you show up.
That's true.
And they're like, wait, what? Is this TikTok? Is this YouTube? Am I getting punked or something? Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they're flirting with you. They're trying to ask you out. And you're like, look, I'm just giving you your bracelet. So
yeah. Seriously. Yeah. It's interesting. And I have no shame, like showing up with makeup and hair done. And,
no, you look fabulous. It's funny. No, because I was like, you look stunning tonight. I remember we went out to dinner one time and you're like, you're stunning. Yeah, I just got back from the jail. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine.
They don't put up much of a fight when
I wouldn't think. They're like, is this for me? Hello? It's just, yeah, so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So what other projects do you have coming up? So you're going to transition from bounty hunter, which I think is really cool. I'm always going to see as a bounty hunter. That's just pretty cool. You're transitioning, and what do you have that you can reveal?
Well, I am graduating acting school and modeling school.
Heck yeah.
In a few weeks. So I'm really excited about that. And after that, who knows? I mean, the sky's the limit. I'm going to be looking forward to getting casting calls from different movie projects.
Yeah.
So there it is.
And you have a podcast coming out.
And I have a I mean, that's, you know.
And the podcast, can I say the name?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so it's Victoria Monster. But on Instagram, you want to find her as Victoria the Monster. And it's going to be Monster Talks. And we're super excited about it. And if you listen to her voice, she's so eloquent and so easy to listen to. And she's just going to talk and share stories of wisdom and whatever. You're just going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And you're going to be amazing at
Absolutely.
it.
I have no other choice, right?
Yeah, big question. Okay, so here's the big question. I like to ask people this. It's 2020. Oh my God, is it 2022? Oh, let me just unpack that for a moment. It's 2022. Mm-hmm. It just seems like it was 2020, just like a minute ago. God.
Seriously.
Okay. So I can't even say it. It's 2027. Like, oh my God, that just seems like, okay, it's 2027. What does Victoria's life look like?
Working on my own projects for my
Heck
own
yeah.
movies.
Heck yeah.
I love my writings and I love to see them come alive. So that's definitely in the works.
No, not in the works. Just lay it out. What is your life going to be like in 2027?
Definitely. Working on my movies.
Working on your movies.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Being in movies.
How many films have you been in? Did you win an Oscar? Did you win an Emmy? What, are you on TV?
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay, good.
Sky's the limit.
Oh, and she's going to be in Inked magazine by 2027. Absolutely. Oh my God, that's so great.
Front cover, baby.
So if you want to reach Victoria, you can commit a crime in Arizona and maybe she'll show up
Don't
at your
commit a crime. I can't promote crime.
Yeah. Commit a crime and then pay your bail, and then maybe she'll show up and give you the GPS bracelet. I don't know. Okay. If you want to reach Victoria, you can reach her at her Instagram, and that's Victoria Da Monster.
D-A.
D-A, like duh. Got it. Thank you so much for taking time out to be here on Life Transformation Radio.
Schedule.
I know.
You. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Long time, almost overdue.
I know, right?
Perfect timing, but it feels so overdue.
Well, I really appreciate you being here, and it's always a joy, and you have to come back because this is so fun.
Oh, yeah, I love this.
You should just come, and we're just going to talk about whatever.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
I know.
And that's a wrap for Life Transformation Radio. Rob Actis, thank you so much for being here. Along with my very special guest, Victoria Da Monster. I'm Rob Actis. Until next time.
This is Life Transformation Radio. Download complete.